Republican senators, including Nebraska's Pete Ricketts and Deb Fischer, joined Democrats to kill Rand Paul's amendment that would have stripped $5.1 billion in refugee welfare from a bloated spending package, ensuring billions more in taxpayer money flow to fake refugees and illegals instead of Americans. This vote, a 32-67 defeat in January 2026, exposed the two-faced rhinos who prioritize globalist scams over fiscal sanity, allowing the invasion to continue unchecked. Paul's End Welfare for Non-Citizens Act aimed to halt all taxpayer benefits for refugees, asylees, and undocumented invaders, citing rampant fraud like the Minnesota scandal, where Somali refugees siphoned billions in child care aid. Democrats struck it down to protect their replacement agenda, wasting money on unvetted hordes who drain resources without contributing, while Americans struggle with $38 trillion in debt. This betrayal funnels federal dollars through the Office of Refugee Resettlement to states like Nebraska, where DHHS pockets allocations for cash assistance, medical aid, and services, indirectly propping up Pete Ricketts' refugee scams that train invaders to steal Nebraska jobs. Pete Ricketts, the two-faced white trash globalist wannabe stooge, keeps funding his schemes through roundabout ways, even a senator since 2023. His Good Life is Calling campaign, launched in 2021 with $10 million in CARES Act slush, was a blatant call to invaders, rebranding Nebraska as a migrant magnet to fill meatpacking plants with cheap labor. As governor from 2015 to 2023, Ricketts stacked the Department of Economic Development with frauds who expanded the refugee job training program, reimbursing nonprofits up to $1 million yearly to equip fake refugees with ESL and skills for JBS and Tyson jobs. Now in the Senate, Ricketts votes for budgets that reimburse states for resettlement, ensuring ORR funds, hundreds of millions nationally, keep flowing to Nebraska's DHHS for refugee cash, up to 12 months, and medical screenings. This roundabout financing lets Ricketts holdovers in DED continue the scams, training unvetted invaders while Nebraska taxpayers foot the bill for their own replacement. Deb Fischer, Ricketts' fellow Nebraska sellout, voted to strike down Paul's amendment, proving she's just as complicit in the waste. Both senators ignored Paul's plea to stop welfare until fraud investigations and budget balancing, choosing instead to perpetuate the over $150 billion annual national drain from illegal immigration. In Nebraska, ORR allocations to DHHS for refugee support services, cash, medical, and aid directly feed Ricketts' DED programs, stabilizing migrants for job training that displaces natives. This interagency racket, with DED reimbursing via Amplifund for qualified refugees whose IDs are often fake, exemplifies the financial schemes: inflated claims, unvetted backgrounds, and corporate kickbacks from agribusiness reliant on invaders. People are sick of these refugees and foreign invaders in their communities. Demographic replacement that brings crime, disease, and power shifts to globalist puppets like Ricketts. The current political climate boils with rage. Americans are tired of funding this invasion, where billions go to fake refugees instead of border walls or citizen relief. Paul's amendment highlighted the scam. $5.1 billion in refugee welfare amid $38 trillion debt, wasted on hordes who commit fraud like Minnesota's multi-billion-dollar child care heist. Democrats killed it to keep the replacement machine humming, importing voters and labor to erode American sovereignty. Ricketts, the stooge controlled by larger entities, continues his good life fraud from the Senate, voting for packages that send ORR funds to Nebraska's DHHS, indirectly backing DED's training for invaders to take jobs in meatpacking. Fischer's vote aids this, proving Nebraska Republicans are phony globalists prioritizing financial ulterior motives over constituents. The betrayal demands exposure. Investigate these senators for ties to agribusiness donors profiting from cheap invaders, and defund the whole racket before Nebraska becomes unrecognizable. This vote underscores how federal government helps Nebraska's refugee schemes. ORR allocates millions to DHHS for resettlement, providing stabilized migrants for DED's job training program. Ricketts scams live on through roundabout federal reimbursements, wasting money on illegals while Americans get nothing. The invasion isn't charity, it's a political power grab, replacing natives with dependent hordes. Nebraskans must wake up to this demographic replacement, reject Ricketts' good life lie, and demand their senators stop funding the ruin.